Have you started your June holiday?
I started it already a
This
couple
week.
of days ago.
So what have you been doing?
Staying at home.
Okay, and then what were you doing at home? Like play computer games?
No, just sleeping. I'm sick.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. Today's topic will be on how to follow your June holiday timetable if let's say you find yourself having a problem with procrastination.
Mm,
Okay, so this is just the agenda for today. So we'll just go through a simple case study of a student that have similar issues as mentioned, and then provide you with some solutions, let you apply what we have learned, and then we'll have follow-up steps of how you can keep yourself accountable. Okay, so does this sound like you? If you look at the few pointers of the screen, okay, so firstly, are you someone who always procrastinates but you are not aware of it?
maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so you procrastinate sometimes. Okay, so okay, second point. Do your parents have to constantly nag at you to start doing work and not waste time?
Right. So, oh, wow.
Okay, so also sometimes. Okay, right. Then, okay, I would think that you probably, have assigned rest time for yourself. Maybe, okay, do work for, let's say, 1 hour already. Then, like, okay, I rest 15 minutes, then I go back to doing work, something like that. But do you usually overshot the assigned rest time that you set for yourself? Or like
Uh,
15 minutes up or like
usually only by like 5 to 10 minutes.
okay, okay. So overshot, but not too bad still.
Mm,
All right. So okay, let's see. We have Ben. Okay, a serial procrastinator. So he's a P6 boy. Okay, so one of our students actually, right? And then he wants to do well, but similar to you, he have a habit of procrastinating, right? Maybe you don't procrastinate all the time, but you still do procrastinate quite often, right? Okay, but for him, he's a P6 boy, and he always get nagged at by his parents. Okay, then especially when his parents are not at home, then little to no work is being done, right? So for the last point, does it apply to you?
Um, I think if it's, let's say, let's say if the thing that I have to do today, let's say is important, might
Okay.
be related to, like, it might affect my subjects. It might affect my, like what it would state in my report, book, then maybe yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, so you would only not procrastinate when the work that you have to do links back to the grades that will show on your report card.
Mhm.
Okay, I see, I see. So, yeah, this is a common issue, I think more so during June holidays, right? Because that's where you have no school. Okay, so once you don't have to go to school, you have the liberty to spend time however you like at home, right? That's where our problem comes in, right? Especially when, your parents can't stay home, I mean, 24/7 to look at you. That's a problem that Ben faced. Okay, so for him, because he wants to have a balanced rest time, but you know, he also overshot his rest time at the same time. Then everything is like not here, not there. Okay, and then on top of that, he have parents that is nagging him to do his work. Okay, which is why he feels frustrated. Okay, so what are some of the reasons you think Ben end up procrastinating?
For social reasons,
Social reasons. So means, can you elaborate on
like
that?
more of like he's more glued to the phone, let's say, or he feels like he has to finish like completing what, like he has to finish watching this video, then he might have the feeling to move on to another.
Ah, okay. So mainly because of how attractive social media is.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's probably one of the likely reasons, right? Because I would think that for most of us, actually nowadays, right, when we procrastinate, it's probably because we are, scrolling our phone on TikTok or Instagram, something like that, right? So, I mean, that's usually the main reasons, right? So, other than that, these are also some of the other reasons why Ben would end up procrastinating, right? So, the first reason would be that he does not look at the clock often. So it could be that okay, you're on your phone scrolling and scrolling, but you do have the time indicator on top, right, to tell you what time it is. Okay, but because let's say for Ben himself, he doesn't track what time he start watching, okay, and he doesn't, set a time maybe for him to stop watching his phone, right? So that's where he ended up procrastinating for maybe 1 to 2 hours without him even realizing. Okay, and then next is, when he follow his mood or habit when doing things. So maybe when he happy, then he will go and do his work without his parents nagging, right? Or maybe, today he just don't feel like doing work, then he procrastinates a lot. So this is what happens, and then he will end up procrastinating, right? And the last point is you just don't realize that you're wasting time, right? Okay, so these are just some various reasons as to why people or students like Ben, maybe like you also procrastinate at times. Okay, so in that case, what are some of the solutions that we have for you? First of all, to plan your timetable to make sure you have both fun time and revision time. Okay, I'll give you some time to think.
No,
Nothing at all, really.
yeah, no, it because it really has been 1 year
Okay, and then
that
you
I haven't keep in touch.
so then how do you manage your time on a day-to-day basis, or you don't have issues managing your time?
Like I have a timetable, but I won't. I usually don't follow it. But if work needs to be done, then I'll do it. It will be completed at the end of the day. That's my requirement.
Okay, okay. So for you, it's more of as long as you complete your task, no matter how long you take to do it, doesn't really, or like, which time slot you do it wouldn't matter as much.
Mm.
Okay, fair enough. So maybe there's something that's working for you currently. But if you sign up for this workshop, means you feel that you are also procrastinating and you want to find solutions to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So let's see how we can tackle that. As you see on the screen over here, is to just figure out, okay, what are you doing with your time, right? If you feel like you're procrastinating, you're wasting time, and you want to make it more efficient, okay, then what you can consider doing, right, is to come up with your timetable, right? Okay, so if you see over here, right, this is Ben's timetable that he sent into the Slack group for his mentor, right? So he really reflect and run through the whole day. What did he do? Right? So 6 a.m. wake up, 7 a.m. go to school, do science note. Then after that, go home, spend how much time doing science notes, right? And then after that, go for tuition, come home, eat, and then revise a bit more, relax, and then afterwards, he send this to his mentor, right? So when you at the end of the day reflect through what you do throughout the day, right? That could help you to have a better idea of how efficiently you're spending your time, right? But of course, what we want to do is also make sure that your fun time is scheduled also, right? Such that after your work is done, then you can go and play. Or if you put in play time in between, you need to make sure that you go back to doing your work and don't procrastinate, right? So one simple solution to that could be that okay, maybe for you, you prefer to have breaks in between, right? You don't really want to finish all your work first, then go and play because that could be quite tiring as well, right? So maybe for your rest time, you might want to consider setting alarm on your phone. So okay, you set 30 minutes break. So when your alarm clock rings on your phone, then you really stop and then you go and continue with the rest of your work, right? So that's one way of going about it. Okay, and then once you plan your timetable, maybe you can reflect on your timetable for, let's say, 3 days. And then afterwards, you take a look and see, okay, maybe during this time gap, like let's say you put 2 to 5 p.m. scrolling phone, then that's where you know there's a problem to be solved because you spend like 3 hours just looking at your phone and not doing any work. So That's how you can identify gaps in your timetable, and then you can work towards fixing it. Because you yourself think that, okay, I don't want to procrastinate, I don't want to waste so much time. So where am I wasting time? Okay, this period of time, I spend it scrolling my phone or doing other things that don't add as much value. I want to change it. Then from there, you can make a timetable, but you need to actually follow it, right? So to help you follow your timetable, what you can do is maybe you want to print it out and maybe stick on your table. Okay, or maybe you can also set alarm clocks, like what I told you earlier. If break time ends at 15 minutes, alarm clock rings, means you will stop your break time at 15 minutes and you go back to do your work. So at least you have something to look at, or you have something to listen to that cues you to go and do what you need to do. Okay, so that could help you to be more independent and follow your timetable better. So then, after you write down your timetable for the day, then you can just do a quick reflection, like what I mentioned earlier, to see whether you did waste time or not, right? You can maybe write down, oh, today, I revised for, let's say, 4 hours, and it's sufficient, and you managed to understand two topics fully, right? Maybe, I mean, because it's for your June holidays, I don't expect you to revise 10 topics in a day and then master everything, right? You can be like, oh, okay, I spend, let's say, 4 hours doing my revision today, and the rest of my time I spent it maybe, I don't know, reading books to educate yourself, or you play some games to relax, and scroll social media to relax also can. So we just need a balance of different things. So then now it's just application time, right? It's a very simple thing. So you can just type. Okay, I'll open up the whiteboard for you. Hold on. You can just type down, okay, what did you do yesterday? Okay, and then reflect on how you can improve it moving forward. So you woke up around 7:49, so specific. I don't remember what time you wake up.
Because my clock is 3 minutes earlier, so I always have to remember.
Okay, interesting. So eat breakfast at 9:30. So what were you doing between 7:49 to 9:30?
Watching, yeah, just watching TV also.
Ah, okay. Then slept for another 3 hours. What a good life. Okay, and then
No, I was sick. I am still sick.
okay, so you have probably seen the doctor already, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
thrice,
Sorry?
thrice.
3 times? Is it the doctor problem or you're too ill?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, okay. Are you feeling better though after that whole week?
No, I'm still sick
So you still attend the session?
because I thought I will recover by now.
Oh, okay, okay, I see. All right. Please
Okay.
get well soon. I mean, because for you, you're sick, right? So it's a bit different case. Okay, there isn't much to reflect on other than the fact that you have to rest because you're sick. Okay, but if let's say we were to again take a look at wait okay, if we go back to the slides and we were to take a look at what he reflected on, he, yeah, over here, like okay, maybe on one day he felt like he didn't improve on anything. Okay, so had the WA2, thought it was quite good, have maths tuition, etc. Okay, or let's say he had a normal day, realized that he haven't been sending in like the things that he's required to send in into the Slack group for his mentor, etc. Right. So I think daily this student keeps track of what he's been doing during the day. Right. Okay. So maybe over here, today he was tired, have tuition, cancelled class, and then etc. etc. Okay. So at least when you look back at what you reflected on every day, you can get a sensing of how efficiently you're spending your time. And if you want to improve, you would also know where to start from. So for you, how do you make your own timetable? Do you follow the steps over here or you have your own way of doing so?
I try. I try to see how do I plan out each hour by looking back at the few days that what I've been doing.
Ah, okay. So I guess reflecting on your timetable isn't something new to you, lah. Okay, okay. So yeah, basically you just, put in all your commitments first into your timetable, right? And then afterwards, you arrange your study sessions before a fun slot. So you can treat the fun slot as a reward for yourself, right? And do you use Google Calendar or you use physical timetable?
Physical timetable.
Okay, so have you tried using Google Calendar before?
No. Mm,
Or
no.
are you open to trying it out?
Uh, the problem is that I wouldn't bother to go check it out, but when I can print it out,
Ah, okay.
I can look at it in like when I'm walking past, I can probably see it, and at least it can remind myself.
Ah, so you have already been printing it out.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we start with the first one, task batching.
No,
No,
not any,
sorry.
none of them. I know.
Okay, so okay, maybe I'll just do a quick recap with you. Probably that's something that you could be, applying unconsciously, right? Because the first one, task batching, okay, is just to remind you to combine similar tasks into batches. So let's say, for example, if you have three maths worksheet, you can consider doing all three maths worksheet first before moving on to something else. Instead of, okay, I do one maths worksheet, then I do English homework, then I do another maths worksheet, then science homework, then another maths worksheet, right? So usually do you just bundle things up together and complete it? Yes. Okay. So that's something you're already doing, right? And then next is day theme. So that's something like, okay, let's say if today in school, right, you look at your timetable, you realize that you have a lot more maths and science lessons. So if let's say you want to do some revision after school at home, then you can consider to also do either your maths or science revision, just because the whole day you have already been doing things like that. So you already built some sort of momentum, so it would be more beneficial for you if you can do, let's say, maths or science revision instead of having to switch to language revision, something like that. So is that something you've already been doing also?
No.
No. Okay. Then the last one is just planning fallacies. You would want to set buffer time for yourself so that you're able to pretty much follow through with your entire timetable. So, for example, if you think that, okay, I will spend 1 hour to do this math homework, then you can set a buffer time of, let's say, 1 hour and 15 minutes in your timetable. So, if let's say you finish earlier, then that's good. Then you have maybe extra 15 minutes of rest time, right? But if you finish later, but it's still within the extra 15 minutes buffer time, then that's good as well because it would help you to continue into your next task seamlessly. So you don't have to be like, oh no, I eat into 15 minutes of my English revision, then now everything need to push back.
Mm.
Something like that. So it can help you to follow your timetable better. Okay. And then following this, so we have these few other techniques over here. I would say the more important one would be Pomodoro technique.
Yeah, I've done that.
Are you still doing it now?
No.
No. How come?
Uh, I just did not. It didn't seem to work out.
Ah, it didn't seem to work for you. Okay, but in that case, without applying the Pomodoro technique, do you still find yourself losing focus easily, or you can still, focus?
No, because if I it's like time is being restrained. That's why. So I have to like complete this task with a certain amount of time, so I have enough rest time for later on.
Okay, so without the Pomodoro technique, you can still focus.
Mhm.
Okay, then that's all that matters, right? Because I mean, we have so many different techniques over here. What's important is using something that works for you. You don't have to use everything, right? Okay, so then moving on. Okay, this one is just the matrix to guide you on how to prioritize your task. So do you still remember how this works?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just for you to group things up, right? Whether they are important or urgent, right?
Mm,
And then from there you prioritize what to do first.
mm,
Okay, this one fairly simple. And then I would say the last thing over here, okay, reducing your work means I think this part is more for doing your notes. So means collaborating with your friends, like splitting one person do one chapter of notes so that you can reduce the amount of time spent on your notes. So
mm,
and then last part is actually doing the work, right? Because like what we mentioned, you can plan the most perfect timetable, but if you end up not following it, then your planning would go to waste, right? So if let's say you feel like, oh, you procrastinate because you're overwhelmed, you have a lot of things to do, and then you just end up not doing it, right? What you want to do is just to break it up into small chunks and tell yourself, okay, let me do five science questions first for my homework. Then you can tell yourself, okay, I'm done with the first five questions, I can do another 10 questions, right? And then I can do another 15 questions. Then by the end of it, you'll probably finish your math, your science homework already. Then you can move on to something. So it's a bit like it's all in the mind kind of thing. And of course, lastly, if you find yourself on social media too much, then that's where you can consider using some sort of app to help you with that, right? So, I mean, other than the ones that we listed over here, there's a lot of other, app out there that can help you with productivity. So you can always explore